Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Sins of the Sires. And in Chapter 4, we attended a conclave of the most powerful kindred in Athens, and Markos asked us to basically deal with a cult member who had accepted their fate. And a lot of weird stuff is going on here in Athens. I don't know how exactly Dorian is going to deal with everything, but I guess we're going to find out here, because now we are entering Chapter 5, Suffer the Childer. And let's see how far the rabbit hole goes. When you rise, that flat, burning disc is still etched on the inside of your eyelids, only in reverse. A black hole. Markos said some time ago, "At least you're not dreaming anymore. At least not the way mortals do. Not all night long, all lifelong. Dreams are humanity's greatest affliction, one we're finally free from." And the sun on your lids? Marginally better, perhaps, than that plague of dreams. You can hear Markos' voice from downstairs. He sounds alarmed, which draws you out of your room. He's speaking on the phone, the landline, which is even more alarming. You try to follow the conversation, but it's hard to tell what he's talking about. The rules of the game, the consequences for breaking them. You try to hear the voice on the other side of the line, but you only get the vexing crackle of a bad connection. Something in the tone of Markos' voice makes your skin crawl. It's not a tone you often hear from him. In the middle of the conversation, you hear him step away from the phone, leaving it off the hook, the only sound in the house. You can see him now. His back is turned to you, his broad shoulders hunched. Then Markos walks back to the phone and smashes the receiver against the wall. Pieces of plaster crumble to the floor. Persa rushes from her room. "What's wrong?" Markos has that distant look on his face, the one he gets right before he speaks about things he shouldn't know, shouldn't be able to see, as if he's lifting the veil of reality and peeking behind it. It always costs him, but you have no name for the price the knowledge exacts. "It's too late," he says. "They're already here." Only your own little glimpses of knowledge came at times when you can use them. Persa stands very still. "Who's here?" "Get ready," Markos says. "We'll be under attack soon." Persa raises her voice. "Attack by whom? You just speak plainly for once?" He pins her with his gaze. "Ghouls," he says. "Kindred." His tone is commanding, his voice husky, almost feral. What do they want?" Persa asks, visibly trying to appear calm. Markos walks to the front door. He retrieves a dagger from the leather holster that he strapped to his forearm at all times, concealed under his sleeve. "There's a bounty on my head," he says as he slices open a vein on his left arm. Something in you leaps forward at the sight of it. You taste smoke in your mouth. Briefly wonder if that's what Markos' blood would taste like. "On all of our heads." "On whose order?" Persa asks. You watch as Markos orders his vitae to flow forth and collects it into the palm of his hand. "The prince's," he replies. Then he dips a finger into the red and paints some kind of sigil onto the door. "That should buy us some time," he says as he wipes off the vitae, rendering the ward invisible. He repeats the process, smearing his vitae across most of the windows on the ground floor. Some of the sigils are more elaborate than others, but you don't know enough to divine what they mean. The house fills with the smell of Markos' blood. You can almost taste it now, something metallic like pennies tossed in a wishing well. You wipe your mouth, though there's nothing on it. "I don't understand," Persa says. "What changed?" The air grows thick. You don't breathe in, and yet your lungs feel scorched, lined with soot. By the way, there was nothing I could do, there was just that option. You look at Markos, but you can't see him. Instead, a vision of fire fills your mind. You glimpsed it before, in Savas's ashen face, but this time it's different, more powerful, all-encompassing. The blaze consumes the house around you. It consumes Persa and Markos. His eye sockets are empty. Markos' face melts around them, leaving behind nothing but 2 caves leaking lava. You can smell the inside of his skull. The house collapses. There's no way out. You can feel the heat on your skin and something in your chest, something fighting, clawing its way out. Persa's eyes are 2 white-hot stars. And yours? What will you look like as you burn? Markos snaps his fingers. And with that snap, the vision disappears. Only the charred smell lingers. Markos is looking at you. What is it? He asks. What did you see? Get them out of the house. Now. We should get out of here immediately, you say. But it's too late. The attack begins right there. You hear a window smashing upstairs and there's a banging on the front door, followed by the yelp of pain and terror. Then a figure comes running down the stairs and grabs Persa, who's standing at the bottom of the staircase from behind. You're too far away and without a clear path to Persa. Ooh. Fast. I don't think we have good physical stats. Her athletics and fight and whatnot is only at 30. What is our... Ugh. We are out of our element. Stay calm, act fast. Look for a weapon. You scan the space for something. Anything you can use as a weapon. With panic worming through your gut, you spot the chef's knives on the kitchen counter. You grab the biggest one and run towards the ghoul as fast as you can. Which is not fast enough. The ghoul sees you coming and turns around just in time to grab the blade of the knife before it plunges into their side. They are stronger and more resilient than you anticipated. Still holding on to Persa, they manage to twist the blade out of your hand. You struggle to keep the ghoul at arm's length, but they're too strong. You feel the tip of the knife sinking into your gut, the cold blade slicing through you with a wet squelch. But Persa finally recovers. She tears the ghoul off you and, with a lightning-quick movement, snaps their neck. The ghoul releases their grip on the knife and falls to the floor. The knife is still sticking out of your gut. Persa sits you on the steps and tells you to stay calm and then yanks the knife out of you. You'll be all right, she says. But there's no time to respond. Well, I guess that's it for our fortitude. Someone bursts through the ground floor wall right then, and the futility of Markos' awards becomes apparent. If he wanted to keep you safe, he'd have to dip the entire house in his blood. You turn towards the intruder, and you recognize him. Slobodan the Thin-Blooded, Martha's friend. He glances at you and looks away, as if you're insignificant to him and his single-minded purpose. He's holding a wooden stake, like some kind of monster-hunting caricature straight out of a B movie. And it's clear who his prey is. Markos. The struggle between them is quick and savage. You hear the splintering of bones, you smell the blood. Markos is stronger, but Slobodan moves so quickly that you have to wonder, how thin-blooded? Too thin to travel at inhuman speeds? Too thin to bend the light around himself, or to break Markos' body beyond repair? Slobodan misses Markos hard and instead plunges his stake into his gut. Markos screams, his fangs bared. He tries to hold the man's gaze to issue a command, but fails. His mouth does not obey. You must act. Ooh. Okay, so make yourself as resilient as possible. Probably not the best option. Stay calm and take on Slobodan. Sneak up on Slobodan and attack quickly. Stay out of it. Use the blood to hide until it all passes, or use the blood to sneak up on Slobodan and attack him. What do you guys think? Like, I believe that we have an obfuscate rating of 5. Or excuse me, obfuscate rating of 3. So it's maxed out. We can be super sneaky if we want to. Our single dot in fortitude isn't going to do anything, especially if the ghoul is able to stab us regardless. Last option, you're full up on blood. Yeah, I agree. We'll use obfuscate and sneak up on Slobodan and attack him. Whoosh-sha-sha! Using the talents of the blood, you make yourself as quiet as nothingness, as imperceptible as the lightest breath of air. You're across the room and over Slobodan before he even knows what happened. But then, he has no choice but to notice you. And after he recovers from his surprise, it's only your talent for violence that matters. And Slobodan is a more skilled fighter than you. You have his full attention now. He's hurt, one of his arms hanging limp from its socket, and you take advantage of that. You pull, you punch, you bite, and so does he. In the end, it takes both you and Persa to subdue him, but you succeed. By the time you're done, Slobodan is lying on the floor incapacitated. Markos crawls away and staggers to his feet with Persa's help. But it's not over. Not yet. Not for a while. The smell of something burning reaches you before the smoke snakes into the room. There are voices outside, the sound of windows smashing, shutters being torn off their hinges. Soon, you see the flames licking their way through the walls. The wooden beams in the ceiling catch fire. The scent of smoke grows stronger, and the beast inside you grows wilder and more frantic, harder to control. It knows what it means to see red, to give oneself over to panic, to burn. You need to get out. You need to get out now. And then you're moving, lumbering over the furniture in your way, Roshrek, towards the kitchen where Markos and Persa are throwing supplies together without having to converse first. They both seem to know what needs to be done, and to be doing it without any need for words. A flaming beam lands between you and the kitchen, barring your way with fire. Beyond it, Markos cuts off the tip of his finger and drops it into a pot, where it's consumed by a brief blue flame. Some kind of ritual to protect himself and Persa from the fire. But not you. He eyes you then. "Leave now, or the fire will drive you mad," he commands. And you know a thing or two about being driven mad, don't you? The fire is already upon you. You back away, or the beast does it for you. And you see bodies coming from beyond the blaze, towards where Markos is standing, still, his hand covering the wound in his abdomen the way one might conceal their mouth when surprised or lost for words. You recognize some of them from Pesistratos' lair, others from Martha's warehouse. Most of them you've never seen before. How many of you are there anyway? One of them, a young woman with the worst kind of eyes, the kind of eyes a serpent might have if it had eyelids, steps forward, cradling a double-edged sword of all things. The beast consumes you. "Hey, Atsoj, how you doing?" When the beast withdraws its claws from your mind, you're out in the street. Behind you, fire and bodies. The flames are engulfing the house. Soon there'll be the sound of sirens coming from afar, but right now, everything's quiet. The moon is full, and its light saturates the neighborhood in a bluish pallor. You can see all the way down the street to the grocery store, the bodega, the big mansion at the end of the road. All the houses. Everyone's still asleep. You don't know if Persa and Markos will make it. Have made it. Above, all is darkness, the moon but a hole. Only the void stretches in every direction, black and infinite. The sky is the color of soil. Feels like the grave. So it is. Your legs don't know where to take you this time. Hunger gnaws at your bones and whispers in your ear, but the idea of food is repulsive to you. It's our hunger right now. Okay, we're fine. We're just growing hungry. You no longer have a home, but you must find somewhere to sleep, some kind of refuge. Dawn will break soon. You can feel its pink fingers pawing at the back of your head, cloyingly sweet. Ooh. The hospital Elias will take us in. The squat. The warehouse is blanked out to us, so I guess we did not get good faction with Alex. Or we can go home where our kid Marios lives. I would do that only as an absolute last resort. I'd say. I'm thinking about the hospital. What do you guys think? Remember, Gore was kind of disappointed in us. Can we actually see, like, faction? Like, friendships and such? No. Interesting. Hospital makes sense and easy access to blood bags? Yep. The hospital. Elias will take me in. Or his brother Ezekiel. The way to the hospital feels deserted. The breeze kicks trash down the streets. A siren wails mournfully in the distance. You walk into the hospital, paying no attention to the people queuing up, or to the nurse's annoyance when you ignore her request to report to the reception so they can write down your details and you can be seen by a doctor. You move past it all, down the corridors and up the stairs, looking for the phlebotomy department. The corridor is well lit, fluorescent lights, cold fires above, dead, defanged suns. Walls are hospital colored, pale, lifeless green. Oh, I hate hospitals that are like that. There are no windows here, and yet you can feel the sun coming up slowly behind the walls, far away and so big and so bright that it bleaches the trees around it, and the buildings on the other side of the street and the sky itself beyond them. They go up in crisp white clouds and dissolve into handfuls of stars. The door to Elias's office is closed. I like to think that all of these kind of weird descriptors, they're just Malkavian visions. It's like the Madness Network just sparking every so often. I like that. Because it kind of like, hey, everything's going right, and oh, everything's so pretty. You know, it's that kind of thing. I like that. The door to Elias's office is closed. You bang on it with your fists, and when there's no response, you rest your forehead against the cold, laminated wood. Stop that right now, a woman in doctor scrubs orders you. She holds the ends of the stethoscope draped around her neck and eyes you with suspicion, but her voice is mild. Are you looking for someone? Elias, you start. You don't know his last name. She checks a chart hanging on the wall. Ah, yes, Mr. Chromatus is on call tonight. She pauses, glances at your wounds. I'll get someone to wake him up, she says, and you should get that looked at. She adds with the practiced nonchalance of a public hospital employee. The doctor walks away, and you allow your body to slump against the wall while you wait. Soon, you hear Elias's soft footfalls coming down the corridor. The white light makes everything look sterile, even his tired face. Can I help you? He asks, and then you lift your face to him and he recognizes you. You realize you don't know how he'll react or what you should expect of him. Take you in? Turn you in? Coming here was a gamble. You climb back to your feet. Need to spend the day, hide me? No, we'll just say, we'll be honest. We'll try to basically tap the Hippocratic Oath and see, you know, hey, I need help. That's kind of what you would say, I would imagine. So let's see if that works. Yes, I need your help. Tell him. He stares at you for a moment, taking in the state of you. Oh, shit, he mumbles. Shit. He collects himself quickly. He unlocks the door, and after he looks left and right, pushes it open. Go in, he instructs, and you do. Once you're inside, he inspects your wounds under the harsh light of another fluorescent lamp. You ready to tell me the whole truth now? He asks. You notice that his voice sounds drowned, as if he's constantly running out of air. Ooh. What do you guys think? You know what I am, I say with certainty. Someone wants me and my family dead, or no? We definitely can't, like... It's either one of the first two. We don't want to just say no, because we don't want to harm the good faith. So we probably need to give him at least something. Maybe the middle option, someone wants me and my family dead? What do you think, guys? Yeah, he's got some idea for sure. Like, he was kind of just waiting for you to confirm it. Suzanne says the first one. All right. Well, that means we can probably get some blood. You know what I am. I say it with certainty. You say, not ask. Me and Martha. And others. He looks away, glancing about the room. Looking for an escape? A weapon? His gaze returns to you and he nods slowly. Not sick, he says. Dead. You shake your head. Not dead either. He laughs, then rubs his eyes with the heel of his hand. Oh God, he says. I can't believe this is happening. You want me to leave? I ask. Ready to stand up. He pauses for a moment and then shakes his head. No, he says. No, I mean, I knew it. I always knew. Is there somewhere I can sleep during the day? You ask. Somewhere without windows? Elias thinks about it for a few moments, rubbing the sparse hair on his chin. Okay, he says. There's a storage room we rarely use in the oldest wing of the hospital. Sounds like just the thing I need. He starts to lead you to it, but stops. I have one question before we go. Oh? Why me? You shoot him a questioning look. Why did you choose me? Trust me, he asks. Ooh. I don't know about the because we're more alike than he thinks. I kind of want to ask him, was I wrong to? Yeah, I think I like that one. Was I wrong to? No, Elias says. Of course not. I'm just trying to understand your motivation here. He goes on, and you follow. The storage room is tucked away in the far end of the building, visibly older than the rest and quite spacious. Elias picks a key from a bunch that he retrieved from the nurse's office, and when no one was looking, and unlocks the door. Inside, it reeks of antiseptic and dust. Something else, like decaying flesh. It's dark and there's no furniture inside, just piles of old papers and broken equipment stacked in the corner. And there's a window. Elias sees you looking at it. It's bricked over, he explains. Don't worry. He walks in as if to demonstrate it's safe. Will this do? He asks. Well, it's not like you have a choice. Yes, you say. You make your way to the back and fashion a bed out of stacks of moldy paper so you can rest. Elias comes and sits next to you, uninvited. For a while, he doesn't speak, and you just sit in the dark, listening to him breathe. He breaks the silence. What will happen to you if you're out during the day? It'll hurt like hell, you say. It'll burn. Then eventually I'll be destroyed. Cease to be. I've seen Martha out during the day, he says. She didn't die. Martha is not... You start, but you stop yourself. There's a limit to how much you should reveal, even to someone who knows more than they should. Her affliction is, not as bad as mine. Her affliction? Elias echoes. Then he goes silent again. Soon, day sleep claims you. You're awoken by a sharp stab of pain in your ribs. Your eyelids weigh a ton. It takes everything you've got to open your eyes. You realize Elias has grabbed a hold of you and is shaking you violently. The stab of pain was him trying to kick you awake. Ow, you say, and you mean it. I'm sorry, Elias whispers. I wasn't sure you'd wake up. You looked dead. He's in a hurry. Someone's here. You can hear them now. Feel them. Smell their bad intentions. They're at the door. You hide Elias first, push him behind a pile of cardboard boxes, ignoring his protests, and drag a heavy rack of steel shelves in front of the boxes for good measure. It won't do much if your enemies are vampires. They'll be able to sniff him out in no time. But it's better than nothing. The sun hasn't set yet. How did they get here? Sewers, perhaps. They kick and punch the door, which is locked from the inside. You can see it shaking out in its hinges. Pieces of plaster fall from the wall. Then it breaks open. There's two of them. A gangrel, judging by the sharp claws at the end of his arms. Never assume, just because someone has protean, that it's a gangrel. Setites, or I forgot what they're called, like off the top of my head, in 5th edition, but they have protean now. So yeah, I know I try and make those generalizations like, oh, he uses this, he's obviously this, but kind of when you're in the character, it's, especially when you're playing, you have to try to not do that. It's hard though. And a tall, thin woman you've never seen before. Dressed in jeans and a leather jacket, her hair cropped short, her skin so white it's almost reflective in the pale light that spills into the storage room from the corridor. They haven't seen you yet. Come out, wherever you are, the woman says. No reason to make this difficult. Look around for anything I can use as a weapon, hide as best I can, invoke my connections, and bribe them. Suggestions? I don't think bribing them would really help. Panic. Excellent. Done. Let's go. See, I'm afraid if I hide, and I'm really good at hiding, I'm afraid they're going to find Elias. At least attacking first would keep them from searching the room. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna get thrashed. Vito, like, what would you suggest? I know you've played this before, but I don't know if it's different based on, like, situations. I have much better stealth than attack. The problem is, if they're kindred, they say that, if they're kindred, they're going to be able to sniff Elias out in no time, if they're vampires. And they're obviously vampires because of the gangrel. Yeah, I'm not gonna let Elias die. We'll, Leroy! You can't find anything. Your eyes scour the darkness desperately until the pair are halfway across the room. Finally, you spot a pallet of cinder blocks. They look heavy and unwieldy, but they're your only chance. You grab one and go for the gangrel, but he's quick to react. His claws connect with your chest, leaving behind 3 deep grooves that burn. Oh lord, that aggravated damage. You grunt, stifling a scream of pain. You lug the cinder block feebly, but fail to raise it high enough to land a hit. You hear Elias scurrying out of his hiding place behind you and try to stop him, but he'll have none of it. He runs, helps you lift the cinder block again. Together, you swing and swing until cement meets bone with a hair-raising crunch. The animal falls to the floor as the woman comes towards you, reaching for something concealed in the lining of her jacket. You're done for. But there's something stirring inside you now. And it's not panic, it's something else. Something new. You pause. Look at the cinder block at your feet, the gangrel's smashed head, then at the woman, preparing to fight you. The knowledge rises in you that you can command this person, and that, if you do, she'll do anything you ask of her, short of her own destruction. She would even rewrite her own memories for you. And it would be easy. Never been able to wield such power before. Where's this coming from? And does it matter if it means you're safe? Command her to stand still and rewrite her memories? Ooh. Yeah, maybe we can play dead. Good call. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. You hold the woman's gaze and issue your command. She obeys immediately, though you can see the effort to resist in her contorted face. Then, the words spill from your mouth without having to think about them. You explain how they found you, all alone. How you destroyed the gangrel before she destroyed you. She should be proud of herself. Go back to her master or boss or whatever and be congratulated for a job well done. Elias looks on, mouth half open. What just happened? He asks. What indeed? How did you do this? Who are you? I don't know, you reply. After the sun sets completely, Elias walks you to the exit. I am a bit of a danger to you. You say, I won't bother you again. He looks away so as not to see you leave. Wow, okay, that was abrupt. Next chapter. But it looks like something awakened in us. The Malkavian is starting to come out. The interesting thing about Malkavians in the original, like in second edition, when the game started to really become popular, VTM, Malkavians had Dominate. It was the same discipline that the Ventru had and the Tremere, but it was really, really scary when Malkavians used it because of their insanity. They could twist it in very strange ways. Then in third edition, you had Demontation. It was the great prank got played, and most Malkavians, except for those in the Sabbat, there were a lot of the Sabbat who still used Dominate, but most of the Camarilla and independent Malkavians had Demontation. And it was a cool discipline because it manipulated insanity and could cause that kind of stuff, but I still found that Dominate Malkavians were a lot more scary to me personally. And then in 5th edition, Demontation is actually a power of, I believe it's Dominate and one other discipline. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's either Obfuscate or Auspex, something that a Malkavian would naturally have. And it's pretty cool that they've done that they've still kind of, Malkavians have Dominate again, but they still have that Demontation if they wish to use it. They have to learn it as like the Malkavian Falcon as a twofold ability. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. All right, guys, so that was chapter 5. It ended very abruptly. I'm wondering if that's one of those situations where if we just, like, we try with Elias, I just have this feeling that if we keep on, I guess it's like Heather in VTM Bloodlines. I feel if we keep on like, what's the word? Stringing him about, that it's going to end badly for him. And I don't want that to happen. It's just going to be one of those like, all right, I've got to go. Thank you for very, very much, but you know, deuces. So I think that may be why the chapter ended so abruptly, but it's okay. Now we're moving on to chapter 6, and apparently, according to Vito and some others, this is where the game really starts to kind of get fast. The chapters are relatively short. So what we'll do here, guys, is we'll probably, if I'm doing a stream of this and a chapter lasts like shorter than 20 minutes, we may just keep on going. I'm not sure, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and see what happens. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the reading. I like the fact that the Malkavian is starting to pop up in the dialogue. I do enjoy that quite a bit, and it was kind of interesting to see. But if you guys haven't followed the Twitch channel, please do so. I try and stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and weekends with random times in between. And if you are watching the replay of this on YouTube, I have a link to the Twitch channel in the description below, a link to Vampire the Masquerade Sins of the Sires if you want to check out this game yourself and play another clan, see how your journey goes through here in vampiric Athens, and also a link to my Extra Life page where I'm raising money for my local children's hospital via the Extra Life charity. So check out all those links if you feel so inclined. Like, share, subscribe, you guys know the drill there. And we will see you next time. Later days, everyone.